Welcome to Freedom Briefs. This is brought to you by the American Security Council Foundation. I am your host, Joy Botterbeck. I've been the host of Protecting Our Freedoms podcast, which we will continue. But right now, for this new year, we are going to try some Freedom Briefs and hopefully get some little 10-minute briefs on national security, economic security, and moral leadership. And back with me today is Senior Fellow Alan Dowd. Alan, welcome back.
Good to be back as always, Joy. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year to you too. And as we have this new year, we are going to try the briefs. Like I said, I also have new glasses because apparently my eyesight's getting worse. So in order to read what I'm writing here.
That's another sign of the passing of a year, usually. So.
Exactly. Please subscribe to our channel, both on Rumble and YouTube. You can type in the American Security Council Foundation and follow us on Facebook. You can also read Alan's article, which we will be diving into here from November, 21st Century Missile Crisis, on our website at www.ascf.us. Alan, your article was excellent, and you're talking a lot of stuff that's going on currently. Heard this morning that the U.S. is training the Ukraine on Patriot Missile systems and how to use them.
Right, very timely topic, and it's becoming more and more part of a key part of basic security of the free world is missile defense. Yes,
and as you mentioned in your article, we have several tyrannical regimes that have these capabilities, specifically Russia and Iran supporting them, and North Korea and China. And I think what really alarmed me the most from your article was these hypersonic missiles, and then the mobility that both North Korea and Iran have to move their long-range missiles. So can you just brief us a little on the precision of both the hypersonic missiles and the mobile launch pads?
Well, the hypersonic missile is the biggest concern about is not so much its accuracy, though the accuracy of these new hypersonics is very good. ICBMs, another main delivery system, or short-range ballistic missiles or medium-range, generally are not going to need to be as accurate because their warheads generally, are nuclear, so you don't need the accuracy. Whereas a lot of hypersonic, the idea of hypersonics is you're hitting the target so hard with such with so much speed that you're destroying the target just through sheer force, But the bigger concern, I think, and neither you nor I, there probably are some in the listening audience, but I'm no physicist. I'm not a rocket scientist. This is rocket science. But the big concern from a public policy and international security standpoint of hypersonics, the biggest worry is not so much the speed, because ICBMs travel fast, 3,500, 4,000 miles an hour.
Wow.
And hypersonics can travel faster for sure. But the bigger concern, from what I understand, is that hypersonics travel within the Earth's atmosphere. They're fired and launched, and then they also have this in-flight maneuverability. And so they're traveling under the Earth's atmosphere, moving very quickly. And they're not following a normal, you've heard the term, and we've all seen kind of the depictions of an ICBM. It goes outside the atmosphere in kind of a parabolic, very much a parabolic fashion, in a predictable fashion. It goes up the outside of the atmosphere, and then it comes down through the atmosphere. So it can be tracked more easily than these things that are flying, just skimming across, the sky at very high speed, launched from a bomber or a fighter bomber, and hitting their target, maneuvering mid-flight, makes them harder to track than an ICBM. And this will make hypersonic missiles more difficult to intercept by missile defenses too, unlike ICBMs or slow-moving standoff weapons like our Tomahawk missile, which is slow-moving but accurate, or drones, which are being targeted by missile defenses too, especially in Ukraine and places like Yemen or Saudi Arabia.
And the drones, that's another very current topic, especially in the Ukraine right now. the Patriot Missile system, as I was discussing earlier and heard this morning, are they able to intercept those drones pretty accurately?
Yes, sure. Patriot was initially designed as a fairly small diameter base defense, air defense for a kind of a base, the footprint of a base or a small unit. And it's been modified and improved over the decades. And so, yes, they were initially designed to take out mostly planes, and then they've been improved, beefed up, made smarter, and they can hit planes, drones, or missiles. Of course, we all started to learn about Patriots during the Gulf War of 1991, the Desert Storm, and the system's been improved quite a bit since then.
Mm. And is they're
an air defense system, and they do, including in that air defense, is missile defense.
Okay. And the THAAD, what's the difference between that and the THAAD system?
The THAAD stands for Terminal High Altitude Air Defense. So terminal stands for at the end, very much at the end of the trajectory or the flight of the threat. And Patriot usually is near the end too, by the way. But okay. So the THAAD is highly accurate, a lot more, from what I understand, sophisticated, a lot more money than expensive than a Patriot system. There are a lot fewer THAADs for that reason. Patriots are pretty much ubiquitous in some regards in among the United States and its closest allies, and where American bases are, there often are Patriots. But THAADs are much more expensive and much more, from what I understand, accurate. There at the end of the missile of the threat, the inbound threat trajectory.
Yes, from your article, I was very impressed with the accuracy of the THAAD system.
Yeah. The THAAD is there's a THAAD system in South Korea. There are THAAD batteries in the UAE. I know that some mobile THAAD systems, and the THAAD, all THAADs are mobile. They've been moved around from Guam to Israel to Japan at times, and I know the Saudis want to deploy a THAAD system. So they're very they're much more, from what I understand, they're certainly in high demand, but the United States doesn't spread those around, to use a layman's term, as easily or as quickly as it does the Patriot system.
Especially if they're quite expensive, I would assume.
Yeah, and going back to your point with the training with the Patriots, all these systems require quite a bit of training. They're networked to radars and sensors and satellites, and so that training, like that the Ukrainian military is getting on the Patriot system, I think they're getting that in Oklahoma, and maybe some might be trained over in NATO bases in Europe. But that training is very important. I don't think it's just a simple as just push a button. It sounds like these take some time to learn how to use them effectively and not waste the system too.
And with what you were saying there, using the satellite technology, not to get too off topic here, but are they still, or have you heard anything more about, are they still using the Starlink system in Ukraine?
Yes, the Ukrainians are. It's basically, it was, and it still remains, it's been crucial to their, not just their military success, but their citizens to be able to communicate with each other. The military has relied on Starlink, as well as what remains of the commercial sector and the civilian sector. I don't know how many have been sent. I know that the Musk company has donated some, and I know that that's a cost to them. And I think the U.S. government has worked with Musk company to try to underwrite some of that, because it was something that they gave initially.
Yes, I heard that.
But there's a cost to it, but it's been essential, from what I understand, in keeping their military effective and connected and networked in a ways that you need to be in on the modern battlefield.
Excellent. Well, I know these are little briefs, so I just wanted to ask you another little question I had of these regimes, Iran and Russia together, I guess you could really say, North Korea and China. Who do you think poses the most danger currently to the U.S.?
Well, it's a very interesting but a tough question because these four enemy regimes represent different kinds of threats. So Russia, PRC, North Korea, and Iran. Two are in what I'd call the high destruction but not existential threat category. That'd be Iran and North Korea. Iran may have the least mature missile capabilities of these four, but it also may be the most fanatical and the most unpredictable. So that's a different kind of threat. North Korea is a close second on fanaticism probably, but far more mature missile capability than Iran. Plus, North Korea is a known nuclear power, 40 nuclear weapons, maybe more. So both these countries, I would submit, fall into high destruction, not existential, but less deterrable because of that kind of wild card of fanaticism that both of them have. One, a fanatical revolutionary regime with the version of Shiite Islam that Iran embraces, at least its regime, and then North Korea is fanatical in a different way and unpredictable in many ways, as we've seen over the last 70 years.
Yes.
As to the other two, those two are existential threats. Those have the capacity, both the PRC and the Russian Federation, with their arsenals and with full spectrum capabilities to threaten the very existence of the United States. So those two are very different. However, they're deterrable. I would submit that we've seen evidence of that even in the last few years. Both of those countries have been deterred by American power and what American power represents. Russia has thousands of nuclear warheads, about 6,200. China has hundreds, about 350, and is adding hundreds more. We know. So, but those countries more deterrable, not fanatical. Russia may be governed right now by a kind of I heard somebody call it a rabid kind of government, but I wouldn't say it's fanatical. So that's why I'd break those down. That's a hard question. You asked good, hard questions, Joy.
Well, I had to think about it myself, too, and I agree with you on that.
That's how I'd break them down. And I wouldn't downplay any of the four of them. But they all require different kinds of responses and different kinds of alliances and different kinds of deterrence.
And speaking of alliances and deterrence, we are going to continue Alan's next brief. So join us again next time on Freedom Briefs as we discuss his next article in December. Thank you, Alan, for coming on today.
Sounds good. See you next time.
All right. Thank you.
If you would like to support the American Security Council Foundation, please visit www.ascf.us. Thanks so much and have a great day.